Hi, this is Mark Carrington from markcarrington.com. This video covers my week 12 activities for internet profits, and it was a week of refining Twitter ads. So I'll start with my presentation. So starting Twitter ads was the one I ran last week, so this is really week 2 of Twitter ads. I'm going to start with the lessons learned from last week. The lessons last week, the landing page was not converting well. I might have had a Super Bowl effect, so I needed to test days of the week. Females are more responsive to retirement topic. Males are more engaged with retirement leaders. Software was the lead influencer, and it was a strong category. So what my plans for the week were, it was a focus on this group, and the issues I had to focus on the software group. So the issues I needed to test were landing page, lead magnet, targeting, creative, copy. And so that's pretty well what I set out to do. So the Twitter steps for week 12 was to test a different landing page. I chose to use the weekly webinar. I widened the targeting of that to males, females, US 50 and up, and the focus was software. One day only. I ran it for 6 hours from the morning on Tuesday until start time, US time. I was aiming to run a younger group, but the test did not run, and I was going to run a UK group, but the test did not run. Which is just as well, because one is I spent less money and I was less confused. And the second activity for the week was to test the creatives on the best ad group. So focusing on the males, US 50 and up, and software. And I wanted to test 3 different versions of the Twitter ad. So the reminder of where I am in the strategy. It's a phased implementation, and I'm in test. So targeting I've pretty well pinned down, although I still have questions about a younger group of people. Creative is what I've tested this week. Copy I've changed this week. Influencers I'm decided on, and the demographics I'm still working on age, and I'm still working on male and female. The verify stage will happen next. So what did we do this week? Well, previously I had this chart was called Twitter strategy, but these are really Twitter steps. The strategy reminders: identify a customer target. My target is a person, Joe Fretful. He's in his 50s, he's got his eye on his pension, and he's worried about retirement. Decide and test a creative, image and words, and this is really what I was doing this week, and align it to the landing pages that I did last week. Run the test campaign, so to find which of the influencer profiles work. This is a group called Retire Ad 1. That's what I ran last week, and it worked also the week before, and that worked really well. Rerun the test campaign to 5 groups of different targeting, which is particularly looking at females. I did that last week. So in week 11, and this week, the steps are to run a test ad to the webinar sign up to test different landing page, and I widen it to male female. Run the 4th round. So this was round 1, this was round 2, this is round 3. So run a 4th round to test the change creatives. That was what I was doing during the course of this week. So the Retire Ad group aiming at software, and then run a solo ad to test that this aligned landing page. I ran that during the week. It got 21% conversion rate. It was a little bit lower than the other conversion rates, but 21% conversion rate is perfectly acceptable level of conversions. So just a reminder then on my ad group. My focus ad group now is Retire Ad. It's called Retire Ad 1. It's the leadership dimension is software, US males 50 and older. The software that I've selected in the advertising is HubSpot and ClickFunnels, and I've added in retargeting past campaigns, so people will re-see ads who saw them previously. So let's see how the results went for, remember this is round 4 against round 1. So quick number, $100, $60. So I spent less money. I spent $60, three test campaigns, $20 each over 2 days. 5255 impressions, 3015, so that's better. This is a higher, a lower cost per impression, but worse than round 2, worse than the female round. 52 clicks, 75 clicks, so that's an improvement, 2.49% to 0.99%, so that's more than a double click-through rate, and it is also better than round 2. Still only one opt-in. No clicks from ClickFunnels, so that certainly will be deleted, so that's wasted impressions. I can get rid of them. And then I found, digging into the detail of the data that Twitter provides, that desktop was 3 times more expensive than mobile. And I'm also noticing weird age data. I'm targeting people 50 and older, and I'm finding in the detail analysis that there are people 13 and upwards. And it raises for me the question is, does Twitter actually have good age data? I don't recall ever having to put a date of birth in, so how do they know what the age data is? So I suspect I need to find another way to streamline the targeting to older person's topics to get away from young people topics. And that's a challenge, and I haven't thought through yet on how to do that. And while we're here, I'm just going to bring up the summary of where I am. This is from the Twitter ads. I'm going to show you how to get there. There's my Twitter profile. Under here, just click on your face, and you'll see here's a button called Twitter Ads. There's also a button called Analytics. So what it is, Twitter Ads is the button you press to get there. I'm not going to press that now because I've already pressed it. So here we go. Here's my journey. So this is Retire Ad 1. This is the first group. Let's just get, this is the first group here. 1.92 cost per click and a 0.99% click rate. Retire Feb 2, which was the ladies. Cost per click came down, but the link click rate got worse. This is the webinar invitation that I ran at the beginning of last week. Cost per click come down nicely to 77 cents. Link click rate improved 1.95%. And then these are the 3 creative tests, 0.8 cost per click. So these two are similar, but the click rate is appreciably better. So if I can convert those people into opt-ins, that would be fabulous. But at least this is a positive move, that my average cost per click is going down and my link click rate is going up. And this is what test and learning is all about. So let's go back to the presentation and talk about the 2 tests that I ran, the specific tests. The first of which was to test the 3 creatives. So this is round 4. This is the creative I had previously. So it's a picture of some money. It says, can you live on $14.30 in a month? Social Security hopes you can. And this is what I added in specifically: free training on how to take steps to look after yourself. And this is click for free videos, what's in the red box. So I've expanded the call to action. 1.84% click-through rate, 0.019 cents per impression, and a 95 cents cost per click. So if we go to the next ad, basically what I did with the next one is I took out the dollar bills. So the image is the same, the diagonal is apparently important, and I expanded the call to action: grab free training on how to build your own business earning $1,000 commissions. So that's a little bit different to here, and I'm tying the earned commissions to this number. So I'm trying to put a connection in people's heads about why this would be important, because if they could get one of those commissions, they would actually basically almost supplement their entire pension. Click-through rate went to 2.98%. Impression rate was actually more expensive, so this is worse. And the cost per click was worse. Now if we then go across to the third creative, the third creative is, I'm going to clear all these lines here so we don't get confused. I've got a different image at the back. It still has the diagonal across here. These words here mirror these ones here. So we're basically testing this image change, getting rid of these dollar bills and this image change. And the results are this, it's better than this, although the cost per click rate got worse. So if this is actually the best cost per click, so this ad is for some reason is more efficient. It's been presented maybe fewer times, it's more efficient than these, although the click-through rates on these. So I'm a little bit confused as to how to deal with those mixed messages and what else to test. It'll come through to what I might be doing on that. Now if we turn to ad results for round 4, let's just remind ourselves what I'm doing here. So here's a picture of the advertisement that I ran. This is to promote the weekly webinar. Free live training with online millionaire Dean Holland and Louis Doughty, the easy way to make 10,000 plus per month online without any selling, giving away stuff for free. Claim your free place now. This image is taken from the landing page that they use for promoting this webinar, and then there are some words underneath the tweet. So I specifically promoted. So how are the results here? So I'm now comparing round 3. So this is the new webinar ad to the creative testing ad I had. So I only spent $10. I got 665 impressions. So the CPM, the cost per impression, was better. 13 clicks, so 1.95%. So that was worse than this. So this was better. So it was worse than that, although the CPC at 77 cents was better than this. So these are in the right sort of ballpark. One opt-in, so one person actually signed up for the webinar, and that person actually did pay a deposit. So it was, from my point of view, it was successful to $10 for $10 Aussie spent. I got one opt-in and I got one product sale. And females were about 30% more responsive than males. So there's one of the lessons for working into this week is to widen the categories and not to differentiate between males and females, or to think a little bit differently about that, and that's work to be done. So the key lessons: the landing page works less well than for solo ads. So there clearly is an issue with the landing page. I need to build a more compelling call to action into the landing page. Getting opt-ins remains a challenge. Maybe I've got those two things the wrong way around in the sequence of the bullet points here. More call to action words needed on the Twitter card. So that's clearly a strong lesson. The call to action words is what people respond to rather than the imagery. Call to action change was more important than the image change. Just reinforcing what I've just said. And mobile works better than desktop. So that's an action item for the coming week. So let's talk about the coming week. So phase 2, so I can now start verifying what is the best creative, or testing the best creative. So I'm about to move from test to verify stage. So what I'm thinking is males and females, using software as the leader, and minus ClickFunnels, so focusing on people who are interested in HubSpot. Revisit the platform issue between desktop and mobile, and I think that just needs testing. Test reducing age-related wastage. So it's finding another way to target people that has an age bias, an older age bias in it, to strip out the younger people. Test desktop only. Test adding 4 bullets or a few bullet points to the opt-in page. Currently my opt-in page is just a simple one-pager, And what I'm thinking of doing is putting a few bullet points so that it runs down onto page 2 that would start constructing a story. Test, download, lead magnet idea. I talked about that in week 11. I've started doing some work on it, and that would be to take a free ebook, and we have a number of them available in Internet Profits, and I will start working on that. Test a video creative. I certainly notice that people are keen on video. I'm less keen on video because I find it's too slow. But I have an idea for testing a video creative about Joe Fretful. And it'll be a doodle type video. Test a younger age group using the software lead. So I am going to widen this group to test out whether a younger group will actually work. So thinking 35 to 50. So the next group of people under, just because they may be more inclined to start thinking about starting a business rather than the older types. And then run the weekly webinar ad next week. There was no weekly webinar this week, which just worked just as well. And there will be one, there should be one next week. So I'll run the weekly webinar once I've seen what the copy looks like, set that up, and I'll sit there and run that again on Tuesday, or maybe Monday and Tuesday. So take the $10 and split it out over $10 a day Monday, $10 Tuesday, and see how it goes. So that's the story for week 12. Some good progress, some frustration. I am getting improving cost per click, but disappointing to not getting an improvement in opt-ins. So I appreciate your time, and you've been listening to Mark Carrington from markcarrington.com.